Hi guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Today is Tuesday, January 31st, 2017. Gold is currently trading at $1,212.90. Silver is trading at $17.60. We're on an upswing. This is great. It's like watching a pot of water boil, but I wanted to get into some immediate effects that are going to be taking place and affecting the U.S. economy and the world economy at large. And it's just, we could tell by the constant propaganda streams running through the news right now, the elite are not happy with the thought of American protectionism. They're not happy with American nationalism and this big push that's been taking place because we've been in a decade of this globalizing of the world economies, this globalizing of America. And the elite are not happy with this. We know regime change is their game. Soros-led regime change has reshaped the world, and a lot of money is being spent on American groups right now, and we need to be very aware of this, like the revolution in Ukraine. And we see these Trump protests. Almost everything he says, we see the media stirring up this idea of Trump protests. And putting so much media attention on it, and we have these stars coming out and being sent into these crowds to tell them now is the time to resist. And what we need to be aware of, why this affects us financially, is they're having this debt ceiling meeting. And there's an issue. They have to raise the debt ceiling. They have to raise the debt. And the problem is, who's going to finance this debt? The two biggest financiers, holders of U.S. debt. The U.S. Treasury released some numbers. China's reduced U.S. debt by record-breaking, massive, and accelerating pace. China, since last May, has sold off $195 billion in U.S. debt. Japan has sold off $66 billion in U.S. debt. So who's going to finance this debt? Europe is being crushed under its own debt. Britain is breaking away from the European Union. We're watching the imminent collapse of the European Union. Who's going to finance more debt? We may be heading for a debt default. Maybe begin to give up land for collateral. It's like giving money to a nephew with a drug problem. You know, the issues are systemic. You can't just throw money at it. The sickness needs to be healed. And where this is going to come into play with these protests and this idea, this thought, this money that's being put into America for resistance. I mean, look at the way these senators are putting in bills to ban protest, a constitutional right to peaceably protest and petition the government for our grievances. And look how they're painting these violent riots. When you're burning buildings and burning cars, this is not protest. And look how they're painting these violent riots as protest, as civil rights. Enraging the population. And so, with no one to finance the debt, what we're going to see is very similar to what we see in Europe, where there's requiring higher taxes, like the European central banks. They require higher taxes. They can't pay out more on pensions. They can't dictate their own things. So we're going to see higher taxes. We're going to see cutting of benefits. We've seen this recent increase in the United States citizens that are on food stamps. In fact, we have close to 90 million Americans on unemployed right now. And so we have more and more people applying for food stamps, and they begin to cut these benefits, and the people who don't have much, they're not even worried about the stock market. These younger disenfranchised youth, and they get their news from MTV or Comedy Central or ABC or NBC, and they tell them that you are mad and you're angry, and this is who you're angry at, and they're rising up against the elected U.S. government. And we see that the elite don't want America to break free of their system. And so we may even see a slashing in benefits because it needs to be done. How are we going to pay this debt? I mean, the government bought $4 trillion in toxic debt already after the 2008 crisis. There has to be inflation. The issue we're facing will be forced into another round of quantitative easing to support more debt because we have no financial backing. The only solution is to print more money. We are in debt slavery where we have to continuously print more money to pay the debt. We'll be forced into another round of quantitative easing. More money printing? We'll be living in a country with a $10 million notes like Zimbabwe. The only solution is to collapse under the debt now. We have nothing to pay. We are spending way into deficits. We have government spending way into deficits. We do not have money. We are not a financier. We're not a creditor nation. We are the world's largest debtor nation. No, the chance to get out of Dodge is now. Buy silver, buy gold. It's the only safe alternative to protect against the devaluation of the currency. It is inevitable, and we are going to see a very upset populace. And who are they going to blame? They're going to blame free market thoughts, low taxes. They're going to blame liberty on their enslavement, and they're going to sink us back in because they will accomplish their task, or they will disband the United States government. Soon your $20 won't buy a gallon of milk, and the people will be angry. And don't worry, the mainstream media will tell them exactly who to be angry at. Your popular news outlets, they call it. People brought up about a gold audit in the comments. And the reality is, we are a debtor nation. If we have gold, someone else probably has a claim to it. We've been living like a person with a terminal disease who doesn't want to go to the doctor because they don't like to hear bad news. The issues have not been solved. They print out money and throw it at the problem. And who do they throw it to? They throw it to these massive banks and corporations. Their profits rise. A highly oversold stock market. They are not going to let America be great again. They're not going to allow change. They're going to use the tools that they have. And they've amassed vast amounts of human and material resources. They operate in every country, causing revolutions, overthrows of elected governments. And the same money that finances those same world troubles is at work in the United States right now. So we are heading into very troubling times. And people, they have blinders on right now. They're going to be lost. They're going to understand. They're not going to understand what happened. They're going to remember how Obama gave them this great recovery, and they're not going to understand what happened. They're not going to understand how things changed so rapidly. While most of America are living off of credit right now. And all of the major players are already getting out. We see some serious problems that have taken place. Most of the money that wasn't lost in the 2008 crash, it moves into the bond market. 10-year bonds. They're getting no returns. The interest rates increase. All the money that has been gained are losses. That money's been stagnant. We have a stagnant economy. The money that was printed is not used to benefit the economy. There's no actual benefit to what has taken place, and no systemic changes. Worse changes have been made, and they just don't want to hear the bad news, even if it could save our life, save this country. And they just don't want to hear the bad news, and they're sleeping, which is why more than just precious metals, you need to get some storable foods, some foods that can store well. Fresh water, water purification systems or tablets, things to be able to prepare, because especially if you live in the city, there will be violence. What they call protests, there will be riots. There will be calls to overthrow the government, and there'll be increased security. And by security, I'm not talking about the kind that protects you, the kind that rules over you. We have in America the most technologically advanced surveillance apparatus ever known to man. We have highly militarized police. And so we are in for rough times, for turbulent times. We're looking for some great economic recovery. The elite are not going to let that happen. They are going to crash the economy. This is the reason they're making actions that don't make sense. And they're telling you a story that is not true about this great Obama economic boom. And every word that Donald Trump says is the cause for all of the economic woes and fears in the world. No, there's great uncertainty in the world. The only certainty is that it's time to take steps to prepare. But it's exciting seeing metals on the move right now. It's just watching a pot of water boil, getting ready. So now, while the prices are low, it's time to get in. It's time to invest and to put some money away to do something for your family. All right, thank you guys for joining me. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, share, get the word out. I thank you so much. Leave me any comments, any suggestions you have. All right. You guys have a great day. Stay safe.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. I told you we had something special coming up. So what we're gonna do, I just got a nice package in the mail. Got 2 brand new 2017 Canadian Maples. Man, I love these coins. What a beautiful coin that is. Oh, I guess you're wondering about the title of the video. That's right. This is Free Silver February, guys. And I figured since the channel's been doing so good and picking up so many subscribers, I thought it was time to give a little something back to my audience. So for every person who subscribed, all you have to do, guys, is comment on 3 different videos the message Free Silver February. And for everybody who types the message Free Silver February in 3 different videos, each 3 videos, you're entered in for a chance to win one of these brand new silver Canadian Maples. Brand new, never touched by human hands. Well, at least since they've been in my possession. Brand new spotless coins. And they're yours, guys. I'll pay shipping. So if you want to partake in the contest, all you gotta do is be subscribed. Type in Free Silver February. I'll make it even sweeter. Every 3 videos you post that comment in, you're entered in. So there's no limit. The only limit is the amount of videos because it's gotta be on 3 separate videos. All right, and I'll make it even sweeter since the channel's been doing so well, guys. And if you're new to this channel, we talk a little bit about politics, a little bit about the current economic crisis we're facing that they're trying to ignore. It's kind of one of those fake news sites they've been warning you about. So this is what I'm going to do, guys, since it's been doing so good. If we surpass 1,000 subscribers, which I'm assuming we will, at the current rate, we'll blow past that before the end date, February 27th, 2017, I'm going to double it. So you get 2 ounces of silver, and even more than that, I'll throw in 5 mercury dimes. Absolutely free. I'll pay shipping, and we're gonna do the drawing live, guys. Good old-fashioned pull names out of a hat. You know what I mean. So here's your chance, guys. If you want to enter in, it's not that difficult for all my audience, all my faithful subscribers. Everyone who's subscribed, all you have to comment is Free Silver February, and you're in. Alright, but thank you guys for joining me. This message is effective January 27th, 2017. Let the games begin.